Hi, and welcome to Technology Tuesdays with Seric Systems. This is our first Technology Tuesday. We had the webinar live this morning. It was a bit noisy to record, so we thought we'd record one again this evening for the rest of you guys to enjoy. It's almost fireworks night, so there might be the odd explosion outside, so apologies for that. So today we're going to talk about the Seric Systems self-optimizing storage bundle. Quite a mouthful there. So, self-what? Self-optimizing, self-tuning, self-cost saving. Bit of marketing jargon really, isn't it? I mean, that could be anything. That could be your RAID. I mean, your RAID disks or your hot spare will self-optimize and save you some costs, etc., etc. So what are we talking about in this particular instance? Well, we're talking about a storage system where you throw the data at a storage system, not caring to where, not caring on what kind of disk it's on, and the system moves the data dependent on its access. A sort of self-tiering, and obviously the least access to the slower, cheaper disks, the most access to the faster, more expensive disks. Of course, it's going to continually monitor and change that pattern and move the data around on those disks. So why is this good? Self-explanatory really. It looks after itself, it reduces waste, very, very low admin cost. We're not talking here about having to set up policies, keep it here for 3 months, and if it's not accessed, move it there for 6 months. It literally is just based on access, and keeps refreshing itself over a 24-hour period. It also tells you what kind of disks you need to buy. So there's a lot of report in here where it kind of goes, oh, you need some faster disks, or you can get away with putting that on the slower disks. So another thing that has a lot of problems for admins when they come to buy things is they usually just kind of go, well, we need to chuck that on really expensive disks because we're not too sure what sort of requirements it needs. But this system can tell you that because it moves it around itself. So if we look at that graphically, basically we've got a tray of disks, we've got different kinds of disks in there. So we've got the high performance disks at one end, the low performance disks at the other, and obviously the high performance at the high cost and the low performance at the lower cost. What we do then is we look at the frequency of access of data, and the things which are accessed the most are moved up to the higher disks, and the things which are accessed the least are moved down to the cheaper disks. Some sort of storage arrays have a sort of SSD cache. This is different than cache, so this system has its cache already, like most systems do. And this looks at frequency after the cache. So this can even fix issues that cache can't fix. So if we look at what's in the starter bundle, well, Seric's all about making things easy, so that's why we've bundled together some of this technology to make it a nice, easy place to start using this. So we've bundled some things together, and what we've bundled together in this entry bundle will provide you with 11 terabytes of RAID protected self-optimizing storage. So that does what we've already explained. And that's actually an IBM storage device. It's the IBM V5000. Okay. It's the redundant storage controller set that we've put in our bundle, so that's an A and B controller, so highly available. It's got this self-optimizing software, which IBM actually calls EasyTier. You've got an option of 10 gigabit Ethernet or 8 gigabit FC channel connections for iSCSI or FC protocol. It'll be pre-configured, so we'll set it up for you and create these smart pools. You take it out of the box, you just need to add your hosts. And we'll put in a 1 hour remote session, training you guys on it as well, and any help that you need on the setup. So we've bundled this together. We think it's a good multi-purpose base for maybe SMEs or departments. So if we drill down into what we've put into this V500 box, it's the 2 times 400 gig SSDs in RAID 1. Okay, so your your most frequently accessed data is going to go there. So 400 gig of SSD, obviously RAID protection. Our middle tier is made up of 15K SAS disks, we've got 8 of them. And then we've got 8 of the nearline SAS disks as well. So this storage solution also has 6 free drive slots for additional expansion. And all this sits into new rack space. Very, very low watt usage as well. Makes it very, very green. Like we said, not only easy to run, but cheap to run. And this is the sort of performance that we can expect from this config. Okay, so obviously, put more disks in it, we can expand it, and it gets more and more. But this starter bundle that we're providing gives you 7,000 IOPS, which again is more than enough for SMEs or departments. So here's the big question: what's the price? We think it's priced remarkably well, at under £15,000. I said it's a good building block to start on, and you've got all the support there. Said out of the box, set on up, remote sessions to help with that. So EasyTier, this is the technology we said. So this is the IBM technology which we've got in our Seric bundle in the V5000 tier. It's important to know that it's being used and there's other people out there using it. These are some of our customers that are currently using it. You see we've got quite a few, public and private sector. So it works. You can go and speak to these guys and they'll tell you that they're using it. So there's some add-ons here as well. Obviously we don't want to just stop at that, data exploding. So as we get more data, what can we do with it? And we might have some other ways we want to integrate this storage system into our business. So first of all, I've mentioned it's got 6 free slots in the 2U that you get as a starter bundle. Now expansion units can be added to this. In total you can expand up to 960 drives, so that should be enough to keep you going for a while. There's some Commvault software that we're going to talk about. So this is some backup software. This is Commvault application aware snapshots. We'll talk about that a little bit. Commvault VMware backup. And this is a highly available Microsoft NAS bundle that we've put together as well. We'll briefly go over that. And then of course the NAS backup. And there's also remote mirror available for these things. Okay, so if you're looking for a DR solution, then you can DR across to another one. You can DR again over fiber channel or over a standard IP protocol. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of this Commvault software, okay, which again helps to sort of optimize the data there really. So first up, why have we chosen to go with Commvault? Well, Commvault has a single product called Simpana, and it can do multiple things to do with your data management. So it can analyze it, backup, recover, replicate, archive, and do search and compliance. Unlike most other sort of backup vendors out there where they've got lots of different software for different sort of areas. They might have a piece of software for doing archiving, they might have a piece of software for endpoint, and a different piece of software for servers. Commvault Simpana can do it all, so that's one of the reasons why we recommend these guys. Also Gartner top quadrant, 2 years quote unquote. So moving on, we can see some of the things that do here. So this whole suite can do backup and recovery, virtual machines, replication, archiving, deduplication. We'll have another video on deduplication later on, so that's interesting in the backup scenario. Of automation, search and discovery, legal holds. So we say it's one piece of software which can do all this. So what have they got in this application aware snapshot scenario? So the first thing is SAN snapshots, storage snapshot no matter what SAN you've got, they pretty much have some snapshots built into it, but they aren't application aware. So they're not application aware, they are only crash consistent. They're not indexed, they're not really granular, it's an all or nothing restore. They're not managed, so they're not going to be removed after a certain amount of time. And of course they're stored actually on the SAN, on the primary storage. So this is the sort of snapshot capability that you get with the V5000 and pretty much any SAN on its own. So what you need is you need the software to talk to the application, to QS the application, to take a snapshot. So Commvault application snaps are application consistent, indexed, granular restores, so you can restore a single file from that snapshot, managed with policies, so again, keep it for a couple of days or keep it for a couple of months. Excuse me. They are, however, stored in the SAN. Okay, so this is the big thing with the snapshot. Snapshots are quick recovery. It's quick to take that back up as well, but it's stored on the primary storage. So here's an example here, policy-based retention, so maybe take lots of hourly snapshots, keep a few of them for daily, keep them more weekly, and of course we create policies in this environment to say when we're going to delete off these snapshot backup copies. So another reason why Commvault is good, if you get a look at this, all the applications and all the hardware platforms which they support, and more than that as well actually, but as you can see it's actually quite a good tool, and it's across different kinds of storage technology, so not just on this V5000, but can be anything, so you can roll it out on anything you've got, and that kind of means, if you've got an existing EMC and you're going for one of these new V5000s, then it can be the same piece of software that manages it both. So price. So the price to bundle this in with our V5000 is just shy of £8,000. That gives you 7 terabyte front end protection. But wait a minute, I'm selling you 11 terabytes, right? So that has 4 terabytes for your backups, if that makes sense. Okay, it's licensing you for 7 terabytes, leaving you free to fill up with your snapshots. Of course, that includes your software maintenance and subscription for the year, and also some remote Commvault assistance for setting up the server. Right, so that was kind of like we said, snapshots. If I had everything in VMware, I'd probably want to go for a VMware backup. VMware basically simplifies the backing up of applications, because VMware can talk to the application, it can sort of QS it. So then the Commvault software just needs to talk to VMware. Similar to V, I'm sure Commvault wouldn't like me saying that, but this is a new Commvault bundle which they've got, which pretty much just protects VMware and backs up VMware. It's very similar to V, with similar pricing as well. Okay, so $640 per processor, including 1 year subscription. They've got this additional one as well, $330 for IntelliSnap, so that's having the snapshot and the SAN capability as well, and a bit of self-service in there, so end users can go on in and restore their own file. So that's kind of 2 different ways that you might want to optimize your backups. One would be if I've got applications kind of sitting directly from the server onto my storage. The other one, if I'm using VMware. Again, we've got the maintenance and remote support. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to talking about highly available NAS. Okay, so our V5000 is a SAN, it's a block-based. It talks over iSCSI and fiber channel. Some people might want a NAS solution, where they've maybe got files. There are some specialist sort of NAS solutions out there. Maybe one you've heard of is NetApp. So NetApp kind of combined the two. I think that things, as soon as they come along as a NAS and they're not just a home product, that they start getting awfully complicated, okay? And then maybe running sort of Linux front ends or command line front ends, and everything's a bit different. It's just a little bit harder to do everything. So I think that small enterprises and departments probably benefit from having a Microsoft-based NAS. So it's something which everybody knows about. It's just effectively a file server. So that's what we've got here. So the Seric highly available Microsoft NAS is basically the V5000 with its self-optimizing storage, a couple of IBM servers up front of that. There's the licensing for Microsoft Storage Server, and then you create that cluster on top. Okay, so from that we can now put out our CIFS or SMB services to Windows, NFS services to Linux, or we could also still do iSCSI. So the important thing to note here, like I said, Seric's all about trying to be helpful. This is something that we all know. Windows, majority of people know about Windows. It's a skill set that you can kind of find anywhere and find for relatively cheap. So this is really just a Windows file server. But it's ultimately expandable because you can expand the storage in the back, you can put more storage nodes in, etc., etc. So it's enterprise ready, it's highly available, it's a technology that people know and people understand. So we're going to go into it in a little bit of detail. So what is in our highly available NAS bundle? Well, it's a Seric starter bundle, so that's the 11 terabyte with the V5000. We've got 2 IBM servers up front. We have the Microsoft Storage Server licensing nodes. Again, it's all pre-configured, it's pre-set up for you. Be an easy cabling diagram, color-coded cables, etc., so you can plug it together yourself. And if we go into a little bit more detail again, so what's in each storage node? Well, it's actually an IBM X3530 M4 server. It's obviously running the Windows software. So it's the M4 core processor. We've given each node 20 gig of RAM, 2 times 500 gig hard disks, so that's which will have the, just the OS sort of running on that. 6 1 gigabit Ethernet connections, and of course the connections to the fiber channel V5000 in the background. So it might sound a little bit complicated, but ultimately what you've got there is you've got 2 Windows servers that are in a highly available cluster, talking to our big storage in the background, where everything's automated. Okay. So the important one again, I guess, what's the price? Just shy of £22,000 for that solution. I guess we probably want to back it up as well. So how much to back up this NAS? Just shy of £2,000. Now, there's a little trick in there, okay, so that's part of the reason why you use VARs, value-added resellers. Unfortunately, not that many people add value these days. But by the way that Commvault licensing works, if I were to back that up as a NAS appliance, it's quite expensive, or if I was to back it up as kind of raw storage, again, that's quite expensive. What we've done here is we've played a little bit of a trick. So those Microsoft servers, we're actually going to stick in VMware, okay? And then we're going to use the VMware backup licensing to back up those VM machines. Okay? So that's it's a little trick from us to you, for free. If you want to get down your backup licensing costs, stick stuff in VMware. So that's how come we can back all this up for that's more price then. Again, it's 12 months software maintenance subscription, and there's some Commvault setup services there. So the price in summary, here's some options. I don't want it to all be about pricing. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about technology and things, but one of my big bugbears is people go along and talk about a solution or a technology, and then they go, oh, I'm not allowed to talk about pricing. Like I said, we try and be helpful. You know, I want to give you all the information to make your own mind up. So a little bit of technical, and of course the all important price. So here it is, the pricing summary. The V5000 starter bundle, so we said just under 15k for that. If we were backing it up with IntelliSnap, snapshotting, that's about £8,000. If we were just working with VMware, if we just wanted that storage talking to some VMware hosts, it would be $970 per processor. If we wanted to make our own NAS, then the NAS solution is just shy of £22,000. And to back that up is just shy of £2,000. So I hope this has been useful. We do have these Technology Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of every month. We will be doing 1 or 2 topics every month. So look out for them. Be delighted for you to sign up and come along and join the live webinar. Email techteam, team.co.uk. That's seric.co.uk. Oh, I got so close to the end of the video without screwing everything up. techteam@seric.co.uk, and they will send out the link where you can register for the Technology Tuesdays. Of course, look for our YouTube channel where we'll post these as we go. So, that's it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.